Yeah, welcome back to my class again today. Now we'll look at string function. So string function, you have this. So string function returns a string representation of any Python object. Any Python object, string function will return the string representation of it. So A equals to, when I'm calling this the string function, this is a string function. So anything I put inside this function is going to return that object as a string. Anything that I put there. So if I say 1000, right? Now I say print first. What will be the data type? What will be the data type of A? Then I will now say print A. So I execute this. So you can see now 1000 is converted to a string and it's giving me str. Then I say print A, it's showing me 1000. But if I change this data to float, which is 0.5, it's going to convert it to a string. So if I print this, it's still going to give it 10.5. Now, if I have this and then I say B equals string, I call it string literal again, and I supply 200. Now that is, then I say print B, and I come here and I say print A plus B. What will be the output? Look at this. So look at what he did. Because this is a string. So this plus is to concatenate. This is a float data that I've supplied to this function. This is an integer data that I supplied to this function. But I'm converting this float to a string and I'm converting this 200 to a string. Now I'm concatenating a string, two string. So this is the output it's going to give to me. Now what did he do? Is adding them up. It's not addition, it's joining them. That is what he's doing. So 1000.5 as a string, then join it to 200. That's what it's giving me 1000.5200. It is not an addition, it's joining them. Because these two data type are now string. If I print this one, if I copy this and I paste it here, then I say tell me the data type of B. I execute this again. So both are string, string, string. So print out this one, 10.5 is a string, 200 is a string. Now concatenate them, it's going to give me an output. It won't throw me an error, right? So that is that. Because I'm expecting, that's what I said. In this my operation, which is A concatenate B, I know that I'm expecting two string to be concatenated. Now float is being supplied, integer is being supplied. So I have to use a string function to convert them to string and then concatenate in my operation. If not, it will throw me an error. So that is what I want to express to you as regard float and string data type conversion. Another thing I want to tell you is that you can equally use this int function to convert um, binary data type, hexadecimal data type, and octal data type to integer by supplying the base. For example, in the case of binary, you need to supply the base 2. In the case of octal, you need to supply the base 8. And in the case of hexadecimal, you need to supply the base 16. So I'm just going to give you an illustration of how that is done here. Now, let's take, for example, you have, because they are going to be in form of a string. Let's say you have this, and I have 1000 1, 0. But I need to supply the base. Now this is binary, so the base will be 2. If I say print A, what will be the value of this in integer? So when I click on this, so it's giving you as 34. So for those of you who don't understand how we got this 34, it's simply 1 multiplied by 2 plus 0 multiplied by 2 plus 0 multiplied by 2 plus 0 multiplied by 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 plus 0 multiplied by 2. Then that 2 will now start having the power, which is from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you add everything together in mathematics, it will give you this 34. This is for binary. This is for binary. So for octal, assuming it is octal, all I need to do is change this base to base 8. And then I can change this base to base 8, and I can have my number from 0 to 7. And then binary is just from 0 to is binary will just be 0 and 1. Now in octal it will be from 0 to 7. So 1, 7, 6. Now 176 in octal, converting it to a decimal, what will it be? So an integer, 176 converting to integer. Now print A, what will it give you? So it's giving me as 126. Same concept of binary. So this will be 1 times 8 plus 7 times 8 plus 6 times 8. And then the 8 will have the power of 0, 1, 2. You can see that we are converting an octal data in a string format to an integer by supplying the base. Now, if it is hexadecimal, you know hexadecimal is 0 to 9 and then A to F, right? So let's assume that this will be, I supply this as 7AB, right? This is in hexadecimal, so I'm going to change the base to 16. Now, what will be the value in decimal? So it's giving me 1963. That is converting 7AB from hexadecimal to what? To integer. By supplying the base of that numeric data type, you can actually convert a string value of binary or octal or hexadecimal to an integer by supplying the base, and that is what you just did. Binary is base 2, octal is base 8, and hexadecimal is base 16. And you know in hexadecimal is 0 to 9, then A, B, C, D, E, F as the numbers in hexadecimal. So this brings us to the end of our um, topic on typecasting in Python. It's still much, but at least with this little explanation, you should be able to understand what typecasting is all about. So the next class, we are going to move to literal, and from literal to different operators in the Python. And then by the time we are done with all these component parts, we can now start looking at functions, and we'll go deeper and deeper into Python programming language. And like I said, the aim of this is to be able to create a solution. So by the time you learn all these things, we will now put them together, and then we'll create a solution which we can now it can now be useful to the masses. And then from there we'll be able to do data analysis and the rest. So thank you for being part of my class today. See you in the next class. Till then, bye bye.